Alright boys, it's time for the...
You know the thing.
The last bolt-on upgrade for the Z4. So finally, I have an intercooler, and as you can see from the title, it is an Amazon intercooler, but don't worry, I've done a bunch of research on this intercooler, and my max wheel horsepower that I'm aiming for the time being is around 450 or less. So I wouldn't really worry too much about this intercooler. If you are looking to get the same amount of wheel horsepower, I would say go for this one instead of any other really truly expensive intercooler like the VRSF one. If you want any more horsepower than that, then I would definitely go with VRSF. But once I get the original intercooler removed, I will compare the two. So I'll compare the Amazon one and the OEM one so you can see the difference. And we're also going to go through the new intercooler and check out the welds and see the quality of the intercooler. And by the way, this is the G Plus, a 5-inch upgraded intercooler for the Z4. So another thing is that I haven't seen very many videos on the Z4. I know I say this all the time on my other videos if you watched any other ones. There is not very many N54 Z4 videos, so this will help a lot of people to see what they're running into if they are doing any upgrades on their Z4 M54. I know the true only real thing that we're going to run into is that downpipe that goes from the charge pipe to the actual intercooler. That's going to be the issue that we run into. And I did, just in case, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I did order a VRSF lower charge pipe is what they call it. I don't know if I'm actually going to end up using it. Hopefully we can use it, but it's something that I haven't really seen anything on YouTube of anybody doing that. The only other videos that I've seen are of Evolution Raceworks intercooler, which comes with the full piping. So the piping to the actual turbo, the piping to the charge pipe, it comes with everything you need. And that intercooler is set up for 1,000 horsepower, and it's like around $1,200 for the Z4, but that's specifically made for the Z4, and like I said, 1,000 is way down the line. So let's get started on unboxing the Amazon intercooler. Okay, so here we have G Plus performance parts out here. So it's a box within a box. So I'll need both of my hands to get this out here quick. We are not going to be using these, but you can. I have a different set of silicone pipes that I'm going to use. I believe these are more aimed towards the 135i and 335i. The ones that I got may be better for the Z4. All right, we got the other box out here. Packaging so far, pretty legit. Here, I'll give you guys a quick look of the clamps that they provide. So these are pretty decent. And there we go. Check her out right there. So really good packaging, like I said. So I'll get this out of the bag and then lay it on top of the bag on the ground. It looks super nice and super sturdy. You can check out the welds here. Oh, I'm trying to be gentle here. So that's that side. Let's check out the other side. So yeah, as you can see, nothing special, but still a good quality job on this. And as you can notice here, these are for the OEM mounting points, which those are also welded on. Here you got a little defect. So yeah, nothing to worry about there. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is just remove the entire under tray. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the whole thing. Just the front side. If you guys are familiar, there's also that rear under tray for the transmission. We're not gonna touch that. Okay, so we have that under tray out. And if you look here, we still have the wheel liner on both sides. I'm gonna try to leave that in, see if we can do without taking that out. But we are going to remove this other plastic panel here that is right below the intercooler. But as you can see, we have some pretty easy access to the intercooler, and it's relatively pretty small. And don't mind this wiring, that's all from these underglow lights. So I'm going to remove that panel next. Alright, and as you can see here, I have that panel off now. And we can see where I have a boost leak here. And that could be the O-ring in there. But it's also plastic, so it could be cracked. But that is all getting replaced. And that does look like oil because I did not have an oil catch can before. Or the previous owner didn't have an oil catch can, so now I do. But yeah, you can see those bolts right there at the end. They're silver. Well, there's one on each side that we're gonna remove, and then go to the next step, which will be pretty much unclipping these pipes off of the intercooler and off of the turbo. And then over here, it's off of the intercooler and off of the charge pipe. So pretty straightforward, really. We may run into the issue of this fan shroud, but I'll keep you guys updated as we go from there. But one thing that I am noticing, you see this right there, I don't have one of those on the other side, so I'm just missing that one. And it looks like it pops into place, so it's replaceable. It's nothing that's really broken, just missing a part. Let's get it. Alright guys, so just like I said, once I loosen those clips on both sides and those bolts on both sides, all I did was just wiggle it out and it came out pretty easily. Like I said, it's plastic, so all the connections are plastic. So yeah, just wiggling it, just pretty much its own weight, the gravity of it just made it come down and out. This is where we're at now, and you can see the oil just dripping on this side. Now if we come over here, you can see here the Amazon intercooler by G Plus and the OEM intercooler. So there you got those two. You can see there's more surface area on the newer one. But the cool thing is, this is going to fit as well as this one did. You'd be surprised because, especially an Amazon intercooler, you expect fitment issues or it being too big because it looks too big, but it's going to fit. I already have seen somebody put this specific Amazon intercooler into a 335i. So yeah, you can compare the surface area of these two. So definitely an upgrade, and for $133 if you're planning to stay under 450 horsepower. Definitely go with that. But later on, when you really want to get up there, go to the 7.5-inch stepped intercooler. But there's your comparison. Out with the plastic.
The next day.
Okay, so all I've really done off camera is also remove this piece, which gave me more space. And I'm actually going to not reinstall this. But for anybody that daily drives their car or just wants to put this back on, all it is these two screws on each side. And what you're going to have to do with a bigger intercooler is actually cut this and modify it because of the bigger intercooler. And that's only if you want to keep it. And I'd recommend doing that if you daily drive your car. Just so I'm not telling you, you can actually see. So this is the area where that was. So this is a lot thicker, so you can see that that's going to need to be modified if you're keeping it. Well, boys, I just scumbagged the hell out of this.
The things I do for love.
So for those of you with the Z4, you're definitely going to have to spend a couple $100 more on the angled outlets intercoolers. You can't buy this one unless you want to go through hell, basically. But if you have a 335i or 135i, then you can use this intercooler with the standard outlets. For me, oh guys, so I ended up cutting a 90-degree coupler, using it on this side. That was easy. I mean, it was still kind of a pain, but doable. However, over here, this is where the real fun begins. So as you guys know, what I was talking about before, I ended up using the VRSF downpipe. So I actually ended up upgrading to the metal lower charge pipe. I'll give you guys a better look, but I want to show you guys the plastic one here. So I'm no longer using that, but that required me to use a 90-degree elbow here, kind of tilt it to the side, and then use the VRSF lower charge pipe, hook it up to the, I believe they call this a charge air hose or something like that. Anyway, it's good that it's bendable because I was able to bend it a little bit and then connect to the Evolution Raceworks charge pipe. So I'm trying to give you guys a really good angle. I was still able to get clamps on everything, but that's all you can really see from here. And then I'll come up above here and show you guys what I got above. But there's the old charge pipe, lower charge pipe. Now I had to take off the DCI intakes here and the charge pipe to get everything to squeeze through and kind of adjust everything as I was going. So you can see there that I got the 90-degree elbow, the lower VRSF charge pipe, and then my Evolution Raceworks charge pipe. So that's snug, as you can see, and then everything's connected. So we got a really tight and good connection. Everything's good, but I really had to go through hell to get this crazy mock-up here that's technically not supposed to work because of this. I'll try to get a good view for you guys, but this is the issue on the Z4. So that right there, where my finger's pointing at, it sneaks through there and it affects the lower charge pipe. So that's why this lower charge pipe has this kind of indent in it to allow for that to sneak through, where I believe that's not on the 135i or 335i. But at least you guys get a look here of someone with a Z4 trying to install an intercooler. But like I said, and also upgrading the lower charge pipe. You got to kind of go through hell. But like I said, I will link the other intercoolers that connect to the OEM outlets so you don't have to do all this. But in that case, you're still going to be stuck with the plastic lower charge pipe, which sucks. And you are spending about $300 more. So those intercoolers are anywhere from $350 to $400 and above. Where this one that I have right now, and I had to do all this, was only $150 with tax and everything. So here you have a good look of everything. The 135i and 335 owners have it easy. The Z4 owners have to either bite the bullet and spend a lot more money and still be left with a plastic lower charge pipe, or do this. And then the other option is also to go with the Evolution Raceworks, which is fully custom, and you replace everything just like I did here, but on both sides everything's aluminum piping. So now all I'm gonna do is just put everything back together. There's the old trash intercooler, which definitely needed to go. That thing was awful. But yeah, just putting everything back together shouldn't be too hard. I don't believe I'm gonna put this one on. I'm gonna try to because of how much more this intercooler hangs down. I'll give it a try to put this one on. It also has a little support on there for the intercooler, so I'll try to put it on. I'll let you guys know if that isn't able to go on, but then everything's just opposite of how we took it off. Alright, I am beat. That took so much out of me, and just going through hell trying to get this intercooler in the Z4. But hopefully I was your guys' test dummy. I went through with the cheapest intercooler and also just a bunch of research on all other intercoolers, which I will, like I said, I'll link those down below. So make it easier for you guys with the Z4 to pick the right intercooler to install and what works and what doesn't. So a lot of people, you know, go on Google and go on forums and try to see who's done what, who's tried what. And here in this video, you can see that I tried a bunch of different things. I ordered a bunch of different silicone hoses. I ordered the VRSF lower charge pipe just in case to see if it worked, and it ended up somehow working with the setup that I used. But like I said, in general, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I recommend for the Z4, spend the extra money for the Evolution's Raceworks intercooler that's engineered to work and replace all of the plastic. Otherwise, the mid-range price is those intercoolers that are around $350 to $500 that have the OEM connections so that it'll bolt right up. But there's a guy, Vehicular DIY, has tested this specific intercooler, the G Plus intercooler, and it holds up just as well as the others, and I don't need anything extra at this time. So this will work for me just fine. So I'm happy with trying to rig this up the way that I did for now, just with the goals that I have for right now. So if you have any specific questions relating to the Z4, just ask me and I will gladly answer with any of the issues that I've ran into and have resolved for anybody that's looking to do any of these mods to the Z4. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side.